Cooper had been passed over 17 times. The shelter volunteers didn't count anymore. After a certain point, they just noted it in the file and kept trying. Cooper was 4 years old, a medium-sized mix of indeterminate heritage, brown and white, with the specific quality of calm that shelter workers recognized as the calm of a dog who had waited long enough to stop hoping and started simply existing. Mia was 7 years old and had been in the hospital for most of the preceding 6 months, recovering from a spinal surgery that had been successful but slow. She was cleared to go home in November, and her parents, wanting to give her something to look forward to, brought her to the shelter the following Saturday. She walked past 12 dogs and stopped in front of Cooper's kennel. She stood there for 2 minutes. Cooper stood on his side of the gate and looked at her without barking, without jumping, without any of the things other dogs were doing around him. Cooper's integration into the household was smooth, which surprised everyone who'd read his file. With Mia, he was immediately completely at ease, following her through the house with the specific quiet presence of an animal who has found his purpose and settled into it. He slept beside her bed. Place he waited at the school bus stop. He was there, always there, in the particular way that loyal dogs are there, which is less like proximity and more like orientation. So you don't miss the hospital parking lot. Some refusals are the most eloquent thing a dog will ever do. Mia's 3-month surgical follow-up was in February. Cooper rode in the back seat with her. When they arrived at the hospital and her parents began walking toward the entrance, Cooper sat down in the parking lot. He would not go in, not with commands, not with treats, not with the gentle reasoning that Mia tried, squatting beside him and explaining in the way that 7-year-olds explain things to dogs. He sat. He looked at the hospital entrance. He did not bark. He did not run. He just sat with the complete physical stillness of a dog who has decided. Her father, frustrated, went inside to tell them they'd be a few minutes late. Tour of a journey. The hospital social worker, a woman named Patricia who had done 20 years of pediatric social work, came out to the parking lot. First time, people were broken up in a breast. "Introducing, please," she said. How long was she in the hospital? And Mia's parents said 6 months. Patricia was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "He knows what this building means. Dogs don't separate the good hospital visit from the hard ones. He knows this is where she went when things were serious. And he's telling you he's not going to let her go in there without making it clear he'd rather she didn't." She paused. "It's loyalty. It's not anxiety. There's a difference." Cooper sat in the parking lot during the appointment. Mia's father stayed with him. The appointment was good. The surgeon said the recovery was excellent. They came out to the parking lot and Cooper stood up the moment he saw Mia. He went to her and she put her arms around his neck. Patricia, watching from the entrance, said later that she had seen a lot in 20 years. She had seen a lot, but she had written that story down in her personal journal that evening, which she did not do for many things. Subscribe. Some loyalties begin in shelters and last a lifetime.